Hi, welcome back to Subtech Online. It's me again, Sabit Christopher. Today I'm going to take you through how we come up with simple, precise, well-designed chart, which we call making your data to tell a story. So we have seen these charts with mostly the economists, mostly in magazines, on different corporate websites, big company websites like Apple, Amazon, and here we go. So you see like a chart like this, very precise, not cluttered with a lot. The header is critically on point. The subtitle is critically telling you exactly what you're going to find in the chart, and with its subtitles and footers and everything. So I'm going to take you through step by step on how we come up with the same like this. So please, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification bell such that you can always receive notifications of such videos when we immediately post them. So taking it on to our screen. So this is it. This is our chart. I'll put it aside. We are starting off with our data. That is, we are going to look at the digital-led FMCG distribution data for the 4 or 5 regions they are supplying into. We are going to look at orders created by the app and orders created by the sales agent. So we need, because some of them are in hundreds, others are in others are in tens, which means if you put a chart like this on a bar or a column chart, it means that some of them are going to skew each other. But remember, you're comparing a region by the 2 factors, that is either the order was on app or the order was by the sales agent. So that is our main goal. So how do we come up with something like this? So here we go. The first thing I always recommend, you can always remove the grid lines. So removing grid lines, it makes clear and you unclutter your sheet. So what you do is you select your data with the headers, you go to insert, you insert a chart, you come to insert column and bar charts. At the bottom there is 100% stacked bar charts. So this is what we shall go with. And here we have our first look of the chart. Then the next thing is I'm supposed to start uncluttering this. So what do I remove? I'm going to remove the grid lines, select them and delete. I'm going to remove the horizontal axis, I don't need it. Select it and delete. Now, right must click on the sales agent bars and add data labels. Then do the same on the app orders bars, add data labels. So select the data labels, right must click and format data labels. So what am I looking for here is I want to put these at the extreme end, put the others at the extreme beginning. So here you select, here we shall select the inside base. So I'll go ahead and select the inside base, which is this. Inside base puts it inside, so it is inside end. Then the other ones shall select inside base. So go ahead, bold this, and you can go ahead and change this to white. Remember, we are replicating this. We are replicating this chart, so you can go ahead and right must click, format data labels. So I'll leave those to black, then change this to solid color. It's changing this to a gray. Yes. Then this solid color, we are changing this to a red. Then select the labels, Control B, that is bolding. Then I'll need to make this white. There we go. Now the next thing is we are going to transfer the legend to the right upper corner. Here we go. So you can go ahead and do all the formattings you want from that. So now the first thing is we are supposed to unclutter the vertical axis by having it labeled by bars how it is labeled here. So how do you do that? I don't need the vertical axis. Select the vertical axis and press delete button. It will disappear. So I can go ahead and increase this on size gap, reduce on the gap. There we go. And what's the next thing is now we need to label this. But wait a minute, guys. Before we removed the vertical axis, you have to make sure that they are in the same arrangement as how your data is. The moment you see CBD is at the top, here CBD is at the bottom. So what do we have to do? So in case you don't have the format axis pen, right click on this format axis. Scroll up to the end. Here there is categorize in reverse order. So I'll click on categorize in reverse order. You'll see that CBD at the top, ginger at the bottom. So now the moment you confirm that, you can go ahead and delete this. So as we are done, we shall increase a bit on the bars. Then now what next is we need to label this with our labels inside. Those are the regions. So how do we do that? You go insert, we're inserting a shape. So I'm going to insert a shape here. So before we insert a shape, we have to make sure that we have enough space for the heading, the main title, for the main title and the subtitle here. So how do you do that? By dragging the chart axis area slightly at the bottom. I will increase this at the top, so I have enough space to have all my details. Now I can go ahead and insert the shapes. Now before you insert the shapes, make sure that you select your chart first. Why am I saying that? Is when you select the chart first, all the shapes you insert, the moment you move the chart, everything moves at once. You don't need to group. So that's why I have to select my chart first, then go to insert a shape, which is this. So I'm going to insert my first shape. So this first shape is, I'm going to remove the shape outline, no outline, then the shape fill, no fill. Now after that is done, make sure that you don't click away from that shape before you use it. So the moment you click on away from the shape, it disappears because it is blank. And remember, we had removed all the fillings and the outlines. So I will do this again. Select your chart, go to insert a shape. This is it. So we do the same. We remove the outline and the fill. So select at the border of the shape. The moment you have selected at the border of that shape, go to the formula bar, write equals, type equals, and click on the first region or label you have. So automatically, the moment you have linked the first one, press a control, drag as you copy. You can do a copy paste. I'm going to do the same for all like this. Then now I can go ahead by adjusting the reference. So here the reference is 8 and here the reference is 9. Here the reference is 10 and here the reference is 11. So it is 11 because ginger is B11, which is B11. So you can go ahead and bold these, control, select all of them. Control B, you can even increase on the font. That's enough. You can align them more. We can go with that. That's too big. That's enough. Then the next thing is I'm going to go with now my charts. Now, my chart title. I'm going to start with the first chart title, which is increase this one at the top. So the first chart title is Digital Tech-Led FMCG Distribution. So I'll click on that, equals, and select the first cell. So the moment you do that, let me reduce this, bold this, and have it black. We can go ahead and increase its font. Yep. So the next thing, we are going to insert the subtitle. So how do we insert the subtitle is, I will move this aside. How do we insert the subtitle? We insert still a shape, or you already have shapes here. You can copy one of these and move it slightly downwards. Then I'm reducing this to that, reducing this to 10, and bolding it. Think that is enough. We can go with that. Now here I'm going to link this equals. I'm linking it to this part. Now here is where now we have to put the context explaining the chart. Now what do I want to explain? I want to explain that in my chart I'm presenting, it is a customer app adoption on order placement, and the highest, it should pick the region that is having the highest app adoption. So you see, when I recalculate, this keeps changing because it is dynamic. So how do we do that? I'm going to copy this. I have it here. Put it at the bottom here. Now, the first thing, we are going to start with percentage here, percentage adoption. So the percentage adoption will be equal to this divided by the sum of both of these. So here we get that. Shall change this to percentage, and we give it a 1 decimal place. Now, what I need is maximum. You see the maximum is already picking here, but I'm going to do this with you together. Let me delete this. So we are going to do that together. So what we need is, here we need to pick the highest town. How do we pick the highest town? Shall use the next lookup. So this is my footer. So when you check my footer, I put a formula. It was equals subscribe to Subtech Online. I put a text today, and I put the date and the time now. So every time I refresh, it shows you the time now. So if I want my footer, I will. So you see our subtitle disappeared because it had nothing. It was empty, so it had to disappear. So if I bring my footer here, I will have to unbold this, make that brown. Make it 10, and I will link this equals to my footer here. Then increase this and go ahead and reduce the font color. That's it. So we can go with that. So already we have our footer under. So you can explain anything here. You can put any explanation at the end of the graph, such that you don't have a lot of notes in your presentation, but everything is just on one page. So let's have the subtitle. Now our subtitle is, we want our subtitle to say customer app adoption on order placement with the highest town and the highest Mukono and that percentage. So how do we do that? Let's do it together. We already have our percentages here. So which town picks the highest percentage? This is how you get it. You do, it is XLOOKUP. You'll use XLOOKUP in case you have Office 365, or you can use Google Sheets to do this. So what am I looking up? I'm looking up the maximum, because I need the maximum. I'm looking up the maximum of all these, close. And which range am I looking up? The lookup array is still this. And what do I want to be returned? The returned, I want to return a town. So the moment I do that, it will give me Ginger. So if I calculate this, you see, the moment it changes to Mukono, the town changes to Mukono. Now here, I already have my pre-subtitle, customer app adoption on order placement. So I will say, here I will do, this is going to be equals to open semicolons, then select this. Just a moment. So select this cell, which is that. Now, the moment I enter, it will have picked that header from there. But I want to add something else that and the highest. So how do we do that? I'll put ampersand sign, open quotes, put space, then it will be customer app adoption on order placement and highest, put colons, then space, close the quotes. So the moment I close the quotes, you see now customer app adoption on order placement and highest. So now here it's where we want now to add the town. So what is the town? Our town is you do, and you select this town, and the highest, Ginger, Wakiso. So the moment I refresh, you'll see now it picks Ginger because Ginger has 70. Now we want to also add here the percentage. So how do we add the percentage here? Still, I come back to the formula and I do and. So we pick now the maximum from here, because that is our highest percentage we need. So the moment you enter, you see it is giving us decimals. Why it is giving us decimals? Because we have not encapsulated this. So we have to nest the formula to make sure that we give it a format. So I will nest this into text. Then that is the format I want it in form of 0.0% and close quotes. So the moment I do this, I should be able, I will need also to add here. Okay. So you see here it gives us Wakiso 45.4%. The moment I refresh this, Ginger 6, but there is no space. So how do we put space? So the moment you put and open quotes space, and it will put space. So here in between the town and the percentage, I will put and open quotes space, close the quotes, and again. So the moment I enter, you see customer app adoption on order placement and highest. So now this is dynamic. As you see here, it will be changing every time a change is done. So that's how you can make your graph catchy. So every time I refresh this data, you see now Ginger 40.5. So Ginger, you see, is 40.5. Even if CBD is nearly the same line with Ginger, but we are doing comparisons for that town, it means that Ginger had picked the highest percentage depending on the population they have. So refreshing again, you see it is dynamic CBD. So even if I change this CBD to Kampala, it means that even you see this changes directly, and the moment you go ahead refreshing, your data is dynamic. Now, there is something the economists do by putting some red marker to make sure that you pick attention for your audience to some of the things like headers. So we are going to insert that same sneaky, I can call it a sneaky symbol or logo or mark. It is their brand they use. So select your chart, go to insert a shape. We shall insert a shape here at the top. Then we are going to make that shape with no outline. Then we give it a fill of red. Then we are going to insert another shape that is a line. I'll press a shift such that it is a straight line. Then reduce this straight line, reduce the weight to around this, then change the shape to red, and here we go. So you can go ahead now, select your chart, go to fill, go to solid. Now you change this to something like a simple gray. Now here we go. Here now we have already our chart, nearly the same as what we had. Very dynamic every time I recalculate. Remember, I'm recalculating because here I use the formula of random between. So I'm getting random values. So the moment I keep recalculating, how do you get the recalculate? You just go to data and look for the recalculate button. So every time I recalculate, it means that every time you update your data, the graph changes automatically. So you can just copy this to your presentation, to your report, and there you go. Otherwise, if you find this helpful, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment, even if it is negative or positive, we need it. And let's meet you in the next video. Bye bye.